I thought moving into the old apartment building would be a fresh start. Cheap rent, quiet neighborhood, a place to be alone with my thoughts. I didn't know the history. I didn't know the rumors. And I certainly didn't expect the first night to feel wrong from the moment I stepped inside. The hallway smelled of damp wood and something faintly metallic. I shrugged it off, telling myself old buildings have odors. I unpacked, arranged my things, and tried to sleep. Around midnight, I heard it, the faint creak of footsteps in the hallway. Not unusual at first. Old buildings settle, right? But then I realized the footsteps were coming from the apartment above mine. The building was empty, supposedly vacant for months. I froze. Silence returned. I convinced myself it was imagination. Exhaustion. Anxiety. But then, again, the footsteps. Slow. Methodical. Moving toward the stairwell. I peered out my peephole. Nothing. Empty hallway. No one. I felt it then, eyes on me. Watching. Waiting. My heart pounded. I grabbed my phone, considered calling someone. Then the power flickered. Lights went out. Darkness filled the room like a heavy blanket. I heard whispering. Not words. Just a sound. Low. Deep. Unsettling. I wanted to run. To leave. But my body refused to move. The whispers grew louder, circling me, echoing from the walls. My rational mind screamed at me. Step back. Run. Breathe. But my instincts failed. I felt the air shift. Cold. Unnatural. Like the building itself was breathing. The floorboards groaned. I saw shadows move against the walls, too quick, too precise. Shapes that didn't belong. Shapes with intent. My pulse raced. I backed into the corner. And then I saw it. A figure. Tall, thin, standing at the end of the hallway. Faceless. Watching. Waiting. I wanted to scream. I couldn't. My throat tightened. The figure began moving toward me, silently, effortlessly. Each step felt louder in my chest than any sound it made. I realized the apartment was alive. I stayed frozen in the corner, trying to breathe. The figure was gone, but the feeling remained, someone watching. I told myself it was imagination. Old buildings make noises. Shadows distort. That happens. But this was different. The air felt heavy, unnatural. Like the apartment itself was alive. I stepped forward cautiously. The hallway looked empty. Normal. No movement. I exhaled, forcing logic to return. Hallucination. Stress. Night tricks. I reached for the light switch. It clicked. Nothing. Darkness remained. Power outage, simple explanation. I would report it later. Everything would be fine. I walked toward the door. Locked. That made no sense. I hadn't locked it. I never lock doors inside. I tried again. No movement. Panic stirred. I knocked. Once. Twice. Silence. Of course there was no answer. I was alone. Supposed to be alone. That was the agreement when I rented the place, quiet, private, no disturbances. Yet disturbances had arrived. I backed away, scanning the room. Shadows clung to corners. Not ordinary shadows. They moved slightly, like something alive. I blinked. They shifted. Longer. Deeper. Hands? No. Something resembling hands, thin, stretching shapes reaching out. I gasped. They retreated, but not gone. I felt watched again, the same pressure as before, like standing underwater. My breathing quickened. I needed air. I opened a window. Cold night air rushed in. Normal. Real. I leaned out, looking down. The street was empty. No cars, no people. That wasn't unusual at this hour, but silence felt wrong. Cities should hum with distant sounds. There was nothing. I shivered. The apartment behind me remained dark. I refused to look back. If I ignored it, fear would fade. That's what they say. I repeated the idea. It helped slightly. I breathed. In. Out. In. Out. I closed the window. The air inside felt heavier, like the building resented outside air. Ridiculous. Buildings don't feel. I laughed softly. Nervous. Stupid. I was letting imagination win.